Hello everyone, I'm Umar, and this week I'm going to show you how to build a simple dynamic KPI card using parameters in Tableau. There are many ways that you can create KPI cards in Tableau. You can do them using level of detail expressions, table calculations, and parameters, which is what we're going to cover today. And I like using parameters to create KPI cards because they can be very dynamic for looking at what information you want to see, particularly from a year-on-year standpoint. So here you can see that sales are up marginally, but profit is down significantly, and quantity is up by a big amount. So how do we build something that simple, such as a dynamic KPI card in Tableau? First, we want to convert these order dates into integers. For that, I'm going to create two calculated fields, one for year and one for month. So I'm going to create a calculated field and I'm going to call this year, and we want the year of the order date. And what that will do is convert the year into an integer. Click OK, and we're going to drag this into the dates folder. We're going to duplicate this and we're going to convert this, and we're going to rename this to month. And we will change this from year to month. So that will give us the integer for the month of the order date. Click OK, and then we have our dates converted into integer numbers for month and year. As you can see already, I've already sorted out the year parameter and the month parameter, which I've already created. So when we do this, we want to add the values from the year or the month. So for this parameter, which is the year parameter, we want the years, and these will display as 2021, 2022, 2023 and beyond. And this is the same with the month parameter, where I've just added the values from month, and I've just made some formatting changes just to make sure that it displays the months as full months in words rather than it being numbers. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to move on to the next bit, which is probably the more difficult bit of this dynamic KPI card creation process with parameters. Having said that, there is a much more difficult process which I am going to show you later on in this tutorial. So let's get to work creating our current year for sales. So we're going to call this sales current year, and this is going to be a very simple if statement. If month equals month parameter and year equals year parameter, then give me sales, and we'll end the statement. So what this will do is when we use the current year sales within the dynamic KPI card, Tableau will tell us where we want to sort of drill down into the parameter, whether it's year or month. We're going to click OK, and then we're going to duplicate this to prior year. Click Edit, and we'll rename sales current year copy as sales prior year. And where it's between the year parameter and then, we're going to add a -1 to calculate the prior year. Click OK, and we are going to move sales prior year to the prior year folder, and we're going to switch the sales current year to the current year folder. That's pretty straightforward. Now we move on to the most difficult bit, which is the year-on-year minus and the year-on-year plus fields. I'm going to walk through this quite simply because this is where I've gotten wrong many times when creating this kind of dynamic KPI cards in Tableau with parameters. We're going to create another calculated field, and we're going to call this sales hyphen year-on-year minus. And this is going to be a very in-depth if statement. So if the sum of sales current year take away by the sum of sales of the prior year, we'll divide this by the sum of sales of the prior year, which is less than 0, then you're going to create another bunch of curly braces, sum of sales current year, take away by the sum of sales of the prior year, divided by the sum of sales of the prior year, end. Click OK. We're going to duplicate this calculation, this newly created calculated field, and we're going to remove the minus for a plus. And the calculation remains the same, except that we are going to remove the less than sign for a more than sign. Click OK, and we're going to drag these two calculations into the year on year folder. As a best practice method, I like to organise my workbooks into folders so that it makes it nice and easy to find the calculations I want to find, so that I can create the charts I want to create in my dashboards. We're going to double check the prior year and the current year sales calculations just to make sure that they're formatted in the correct number format, which they are not. So I'm going to change this pound sign to a dollar sign. We want no decimal places. Click OK. For the year on year calculations we just recently created, we're going to also change the number format to a custom Unicode format of the up arrow, which displays it as a year on year increase, and the down arrow as a year on year decrease. We'll click OK. We've got it all nice and sorted, and now we're ready to build our dynamic KPI card. So what I'm doing is I'm just highlighting the year on year calculations, the prior year and the current year sales calculations, and I'm going to drag it onto text. I'm going to hide the title, and I'm going to go to the label mark. I'm going to up the font, and I'm going to call this sales. And then I'm going to double the size, so I want the figure to look massive. So I'm going to add the sales of the current year, but I'm going to decrease the size of this versus the prior year sales. And then what I'm going to do is add the prior year sales, and then I'm going to add the sales year on year minus and the sales year on year plus. So this should be all formatted correctly, and then I'm going to make a few formatting changes. So I'm going to make the plus sign red and the positive sign green. Click apply, and then we're going to sort out a few alignment changes. So we're going to make this middle center, and then we're going to not show the tooltips, and we'll click OK, and then we have our working KPI card. We're going to show the year and the month parameter, and as we can see, this automatically updates depending on the year that you want to view. For ease of use, we're going to put it to December 2024, and as you can see, sales were down 12.6% or under 13% from the prior year of December 2023. As we go onto the dashboard, what we're going to do is we're going to drag this KPI into the view, and we're going to fit this to entire view. We're going to hide the title, and then what we're going to do is we're going to edit the title, and we're going to call this select a year, and we're going to edit the month parameter, and we're going to call this select a month, and we're going to adjust the height so it's and there you have it. A very simple dynamic KPI card that using parameters to adjust the granularity and also adjust the month and the year that you want to view in your KPI card. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this has given you an idea of how to create a simple dynamic KPI card in Tableau using parameters. I want to say a big thank you to Chimdi, Nwosu and Sebastine Amende for inspiring me to create this video. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please like, share and subscribe, and I will be back with some more Tableau related content very soon.